Once in a land where mountains kissed the sky and valleys embraced the earth's warmth, there flowed a mighty river, born of melting ice and trickling streams high in the peaks. Its waters did not rush, nor did they linger, but instead they moved with a measured grace, carrying the quiet wisdom of ancient stones and the gentle murmur of unseen currents, passed down through ages and seasons. The river was known not for its haste or power, but for the way it listened, to the whispers of leaves that touched its surface, to the songs of birds that perched upon its banks, and to the stories of fishermen who cast their nets into its depths before the dawn light crept across the horizon. One such fisherman, a man named Kavi, had spent his life alongside these waters. His boat, a small wooden vessel that, in its simplicity, seemed part of the river itself. Each morning, as he unfurled his net, he would pause, hand hovering above the water, eyes closed, listening to the river's voice, seeking guidance on where to cast, where the silent gifts of the river might be offered in abundance. Kavi was old now, his hands weathered and etched with lines that told of years under the sun and wind, each mark a chapter in the story of his life. Yet his heart remained vibrant and young, touched by the river's eternal flow. One day, as the first rays of sun painted the sky with shades of gold and crimson, Kavi ventured further downstream than usual, urged on by a faint whisper in the depths of his thoughts, perhaps the river calling him. As he drifted past familiar bends and ancient willow trees leaning wearily over the waters, he noticed something unusual, something small and delicate caught among the reeds. Paddling closer, he discovered a fledgling bird, shivering and weak, its wings not yet strong enough for flight, abandoned by misfortune or the whims of fate. He scooped the fragile creature out of its watery trap, holding it gently in his weathered palms, and in that moment he felt the pulse of life, warm and tremulous, a reminder of his own fragility and resilience, in a world that sometimes seemed vast and uncaring. He returned home, making a small nest of hay and wool by the hearth where the bird would be safe and cared for, each day feeding it drops of honeyed water, speaking softly with words of comfort and encouragement, until it regained strength, its eyes brightening with the light of life renewed. And so, as the days grew longer and the nights whispered softly of summer, the young bird became stronger, its wings growing more robust as it hopped from perch to perch, exploring its newfound world with curiosity and quiet enthusiasm. Kavi, watching, learned an unexpected truth, not in solitude, but in the gentle company of this small creature whose spirit echoed the river's patient song, teaching him of growth, of nurturing, of the tender balance between holding too tightly and letting go. Finally, one fair morning, as a gentle breeze stirred the trees and the sun climbed slowly into the heavens, Kavi carried the bird to the edge of the river, his heart a tapestry of sorrow and joy entwined. He watched as it spread its wings, hesitated, and then, with a leap of faith as natural as the river's flow, it took to the air. He stood motionless, his gaze following its path until it was but a tiny speck against the endless sky. And in that moment he understood something profound, something the river had been whispering all along, through the stones and the trees and the morning mist. In the heart of release, in allowing the fledgling to embrace the sky, he had found his own wings, not in flight, but in the courage to listen, to learn, to trust the quiet whispers of life that shape us, like the river shapes the land. And so he returned to the river each day, his heart lighter, his soul like water, flowing, ever flowing, in the gentle dance of time.